to play with Kyle Anderson and D'Anthony Bell? That's a dumb question. Of course he will be. And Brandin Podziemski, look, he took this region by storm, man. Our expectations were low. We'll admit it right now. And then all he does is go out there, lead the league in charges, makes first team all-rookie team, has all these 10-5-5 games, moving the ball, playing in crunch time. Brandin Podziemski, and I don't even know if my guy's rested since the season's been over, because every time I look up, he's on the basketball court somewhere. Brandin Podziemski joins us here on the River Islands guest line, second-year pro out of Santa Clara. Pods, man, what's happening? Welcome to the Morning Roast. Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. Where you at right now, man? It sounds like you're on the word. You on the plane right now going to Vegas?
No, I'm actually in my hotel right now in Vegas.
Okay, are you staying out that heat, right?
Yeah, it's too hot, man.
Hold on. We're going to reconnect with you real quick because it sounds like you're underwater right now. Let's effort Pods to get him a better connection here. Brandin Podziemski out in Vegas. Not a great start to our interview either.
Stuff happens and we just roll with it.
How about this? Happy birthday to Duke and his grandson.
Oh, happy birthday.
Somebody mobile text line.
I hope your birthday is booming, Duke.
Hope your birthday is booming,
We love
Duke.
you here. You know that.
If you got a birthday freestyle, let us know. We'll read it. We'll try to freestyle it. What is the one thing you want to see, Pods? What is the one thing you want to see in terms of the leap from rookie to second year?
I'd like to see him shoot more from the outside. I think he's got a nice shot. I'd like to see him shoot more. I mean, when you're watching his highlights when he was drafted, and clearly, the floor game in terms of how he shot was a big part of his game. And I could already see the facilitator, but, scoring and getting buckets, I think that's another step for him as a player. I think he can do it. And obviously, he's already shown that he can rebound and understand tempo and push the pace. So I'd like to see him shoot a little more off the dribble, and I'd like to see them as a catch and shoot player. I think he can do more too as well.
Yeah, no, Pods shot 38.5% from the three-point last season. I know he's talked about shooting more and scoring more. Pods, we got you?
Yes, sir.
All right, there we go.
So
There we go.
So much
There we go,
better.
man. It feels like you've just been living in the gym. Have you taken any vacation this offseason? Because every time I look up, you're wearing the USA Select jersey, going against Anthony Davis and company and the Team USA. You're in the gym here at Chase Center. You're playing in Summer League games. I'm thinking Wednesday night, why are you playing, Pods? You don't need to play. We know who you are. What have you done in the offseason to kind of take some time away from basketball before we get back into the basketball aspect of your life?
It took 2 weeks off after we lost to Sacramento and just went home and chilled with the family. Didn't touch a basketball, so it was kind of weird for me because I never got to do that. So I did that and got to go to a couple playoff games in May. Went to the finals game in Dallas for Game 4. That was fun, but my big vacation will happen after Summer League. After I'm done, I'm going to go to London and Paris with some of my friends from high school, so I'm going to do that and then get back to it in August.
I saw you at Game 4 in Dallas, and you always ask Luka Doncic questions there. How did it feel to be a member of the media and be on the opposite side of things?
It was fun, and I definitely kind of understand from a player's perspective now, like, why they don't like doing media, but also the benefits that come with being a media member. And it was cool to see that side. I obviously want to, coach and do something along those lines after I'm done playing. So just to see what it's kind of like behind the scenes of being a media member was cool for me in terms of my future.
Look, we'll get into like Team USA, Steph, and Draymond, and Klay, and Kerr, and all the goody stuff. But take me back to the beginning, because I seen your dad floating around the internet. He's over on Twitter, and look, my dad would always be on social media, and I'd be like, Dad, you got to be careful what you're tweeting and what you're posting and stuff, because I don't want it coming back on me. People interpret things weird ways. Your dad's obviously been a big part of your life, right? Going back. So did you play hoops for him? Was he your coach? I see you played baseball and football as well. Like, take me back to when you were a kid and getting into ball.
Yeah, I mean, he was always my coach for baseball. It's what I was kind of grew up knowing, and nobody in my family, cousins, extended families ever touched the basketball. I'm the only one in my family. But he was always the baseball coach until I think going into high school, because he knew the higher I got with baseball, the less he would be able to physically coach me. So he thought he would still coach me like individually on the side, but in terms of being my actual coach, he just kind of let other people do it because he knew college, pro, whatever it was, he would be the coach. So he just taught me everything I knew about baseball. And, obviously I was really good at you've heard him talk about it, but that was really it for football. He didn't know anything. Basketball, he never touched it. So I kind of just had to learn through others, through watching, through trying things out. That's how I kind of learned my stuff. And but the baseball was all credit to him. I didn't know much, but he kind of taught me everything.
So I'm assuming you were left-handed as a pitcher, right?
Yes.
Oh, so did you think you were Kershaw? Did you think you were Ryan Braun, the outfielder, or something like that? Like, were you a Brewers fan, a Cubs fan? Like, what was it? Yeah,
I definitely was a Brewers fan until they had that big trade. I forget what year it was when they traded Alcides Escobar, Lorenzo Cain, Zach Greinke to the Royals.
That's
then
right.
I was like, you know what? I'm just a Royals fan because those are my kind of players. And so I've been a Royals fan kind of ever since. We got a World Series. We got to experience. So it's been good. We've been pretty bad the last, probably 8 to 10 years, but we're pretty good this year.
Yeah, you got Bobby Witt Jr. right now. Bobby Witt Jr., an all-star, going to be in a home run derby. What was you throwing as a lefty? Were you a submariner? Were you a sidearmer? What were you as a pitcher?
Yeah.
No, I think my velocity wasn't as good as kind of my peers, not in a sense that it wasn't good. I always played up, either 1 or 2 ages just to be with older players. So for me, it was just all about, accuracy, throwing different pitches. And that's kind of how I built it up. And then, as I got older and started to play more of my age, then the velocity kind of kicked in. So I think for me, just kind of basing it on more accuracy, being able to locate my pitches, I think that helped me because of the velocity over time came. And I think just the same in basketball, like I kind of focus on the IQ and the skill piece, and then the explosiveness and the quickness can add on over time. So I kind of just looked at it that way, and it's helped me, be a good player.
I mean, you go to the Warriors, and they have Chris Paul and Steph Curry. Those had to be 2 guys that you, in some way, influenced your game, right, growing up, or were there other players?
I think for me, just seeing how different Steph is and see how he changed the game, I knew I wasn't like him. And, Chris Paul is one of the best passers and players ever played the game. So I knew I didn't really play like him. I wasn't as short, wasn't as fast. So I really looked at kind of Manu Ginobili. I've said it a bunch of times, but just that the ability to play hard all the time, just a winner. Didn't necessarily make threes at a high clip, but when he shot him, he made them. But then just being able to attack downhill, play the right way, being able to move the ball, just something that kind of inspired me, and I think kind of, rubs off in my game a little bit.
Brandin Podziemski here on the Morning Rush on 95.7 The Game, courtesy of the River Islands guest line. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands, River Islands in Lathrop there? And you come into the Golden State Warriors, and for a lot of young players, it could be daunting, right? You see the banners, you see Steph, you see Draymond, you see Klay. You've been watching them your whole life, and you come in, and you started starting games. You're playing 74. You make the all-rookie first team, well-deserved in a stacked rookie class. Where does that confidence come from? Because you came in with the confidence of a 5-year vet.
Yeah, I think the part that people don't see is it was a little daunting at first, especially, the day after draft night when you kind of let everything kind of soak in and you're like, wow, you have these 2 elite, point guards at your position. You have Klay, you have Draymond, you have a bunch of guys in the locker room that have won together. And you kind of think like, where do you fit in? And for me, I thought about it for a while, and at first I didn't really see it. I was like, well, this kind of makes sense for them and doesn't really involve me. And so I just kind of, through the workouts, through our players only camp, through training camp, I just kind of looked at what do our veteran star players do really well and what do they do not as well. And everything that I found that they didn't do as well is something I wanted to do. And so I just kind of looked at it from that perspective. Didn't really worry too much about shot making because I knew we had a lot of it. And so all the things that they weren't as good at is something I was like, you know what, I can do that, and I'll be willing to do that to get on the floor. And so those things kind of showed up, whether it was taking charges, loose balls, rebounding, making an extra pass, setting screens, all that kind of stuff, just to get on the floor. And then obviously the more you play, the more you're trusted, the more, opportunities you get to do, things that you like to do.
And finished a lot of games, Shaq. He played 26 minutes a night.
I mean, he was awesome this year. What was more difficult? You know, you're coming from Santa Clara, and all of a sudden you're on the Warriors, and you got Steph and Klay and Dre and Chris Paul, and then you got the whole social media aspect of Warrior fans that are crazy. Then you got the media, which is its own thing, and this guy could get traded, and that guy could get traded, and this guy wants a contract extension. What was harder for you to navigate in year one? Was it on the court and trying to find your place on the court, or was it to navigate all of the stuff off the court?
I feel like for me, it's always going to be on the court. I think off the court, you know, people have their struggles, and for me, I'm a pretty educated guy, like you said. You know, I understand it's a business and all the stuff that comes with it, and you know, the Klay Thompson extension, JK about him playing more, you know, all that kind of stuff that circulates throughout a season. I mean, I feel like it's stuff that not every team necessarily goes through, but it's something that teams have to go through in some variation. So for me, it was just like controlling the controllables and, you know, knowing that, you know, he might not be as happy or people might not agree with all the decisions that Steve and the front office are making. But at the end of the day, when the ball's up, we just got to go hoop no matter what's out there, who's out there. So, for me, it was just on the court, figuring out how to play with Steph and Klay, because it is an adjustment. It's different. People always say they love to play with them, and some people say it's the hardest thing to do because it is so different. So for me, it was just on the court focus of how do I get out there and stay out there.
Yeah, the ball movement and everything. Pod, you fit in well because of what you did with Herb Sendek down at Santa Clara, getting an opportunity to play. But now that you kind of opened that door up with Klay and everything, last year, obviously, you're getting ready for the draft, and you're coming in Summer League, and you're playing. Now that you spent the season in the NBA, how different is the offseason? How differently do you look at the offseason now? Because it is wild. Trade rumors galore, guys signing places, who's on the block or whatnot. How wild has it been for you to go through your first offseason coming out of your first year?
It's been wild, but I just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a Golden State Warrior, that'll be my focus. And what we have on October 1st for training camp is what we're going to have to work with. And that's just kind of how I look at it. And, you know, I've been working my tail off to be the best I can be and to show, you know, the front office, show Steve, show Steph and the guys that, you know, I'm perfectly capable, you know, being another option. So I've just been, you know, working hard just to show I can have that and, you know, not just be satisfied with kind of playing a small role and just being a role player. I think I can be more than that. And I think I've been working for that as well.
So what was that experience like then in Las Vegas? Because you got to work out against Team USA, and I heard Steve Kerr say, boy, Pods had a hell of a day. We saw the elbow from Embiid, but it seems like you're getting your nose into it. You're getting down and dirty.
Him and Booker not dapping up?
Yeah.
The internet was all over that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. But that experience of playing with team, the select team alongside Trace Jackson-Davis, who probably should have been second team All-Rookie, he came on the scene and burst onto the scene and played very well. What was that experience like for you and to get the compliments from guys who have done it at a high level for a long time?
Yeah, I think, you know, above it all, it's a confidence booster. But I think for me, just being able to share the floor with, you know, the 12 best American basketball players we have, you know, to date right now, and being able to bring the competitive juices out of them. Obviously, they are a little bit older with Drew and Steph and guys like that. But just to bring that competitive juice out of them, being able to see, like, kind of where I stack up against them. Because when I play, I always kind of like to see, like, hey, where do I stack up? Where do I fit in? You know, what do I need to get better at to get to that level? And for me, it was just going out there competing, trying to inspire the other select guys to, you know, play hard as well and get them to play the right way. And I think for the most part, we did it. We didn't play a full game either day, but it was a, you know, good opportunity to scrimmage against them and bring the competitiveness out. And yeah, I think I played pretty well.
No, you've been killing it. Let's do a quick rapid fire. Have fun. Don't overthink these, all right? Real simple. I'm going to throw some things at you. Let's see what you think. PS5 or Xbox?
PS5.
Fortnite or Madden?
Madden.
Niners or Packers?
Packers.
Oh, CP, Pods, we got to hang up on you right now, man.
Patrick Mahomes or Joe Montana?
Come on, Pods, why you got to do that to me?
My team is the Chiefs, though.
Oh, even worse, Pods. First of all, milk the cheesehead, and don't ever say that again. Nobody clip this. Don't put it out on the internet, Pods. You just broke her heart.
Yeah, so definitely Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, you just
dude,
buried
you're
it
killing
deeper
me.
and deeper into
Oh,
our
my God.
hearts.
What's your haircut called? Like when you go to the barber, what do you call that?
I mean, it depends on the time. Usually I just get a low taper and a lineup up top and call it a day. I haven't actually cut the top of my hair since December.
Wow. All right. So
Head and Shoulders going to be calling in a second, man.
Yeah, dude, you got to
We're trying to get you some money, man. Let's get those hair companies coming.
Right. I got more questions, though. All right. Kanye or Jay-Z?
Jay-Z.
All right.
Good answer.
Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick.
Okay. Burrito or sushi?
Sushi.
Bratwurst or breakfast sausage?
Oh, bratwurst.
He didn't know what to say in the second one. We got second. Let me get in here. I want to go back to Team USA for a second.
I want to ask one more. Are you into Star Wars, Marvel, anything like that? Like, what are you watching at home? What are you watching on the iPad in your downtime?
I like to watch a lot of crime shows, documentary series, stuff like that. I always wanted to, if I didn't play sports, I would be like not an FBI agent, but just someone I could help figure out kind of unsolved things.
Yeah, a little private investigator.
I liked little mysteries. I enjoyed doing that, and then I just kind of watched TV shows like documentaries and
stuff.
What you
watching right now?
I just kind of watched a 9/11 documentary, which was really good. I watched a documentary on Hitler and that whole kind of story of what it was like. They just came out with a documentary a couple weeks ago on Netflix.
I saw that too.
So it was really good. Just they explained it more in detail of his life. It wasn't so much kind of like what he did. It was more of his life story and kind of what led him to, obviously what happened, which was very sad and disappointing. But that was kind of cool to see from, people's perspective and his perspective on there and what the repercussions were of that. So I just finished watching that. And then, Criminal Minds just came out with a new season on Paramount Plus. I've been watching that. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, it's just watching some film, some hoops. But I have a lot of stuff that can take up time.
Yeah, I'm just glad you didn't say Star Wars. Your stock is even going up in my book, man. Spawn's my type of guy. Real quick, I'm going to go back to Team USA because you were playing with Cooper Flagg. And Cooper Flagg was like, dude, I love the competitiveness against with Brandin Podziemski or whatnot, playing alongside these stars. And then moving on, what was the conversation? What was your perspective of Cooper Flagg as a 17-year-old?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a really good player. Obviously, on a bunch of boards, he's projected number 1 next year. But I think he's just got the things and the traits that people develop a little bit later in life. Usually, as a 22, 23-year-old, I think he's got it at an early age. Obviously, with anybody, there's room for improvement. But I think in terms of, pure athleticism, skill, shot making inside the three, I think, he's best, player in high school for a reason, and I think he'll show it this year at Duke. But when the time comes when he gets his name called on draft night, I think wherever he goes, the team will have success because of it. And, he's an alpha, and I think, teams sometimes want that in an organization, sometimes they don't. But I think all the time with a number 1 pick, you want that. And, usually you go to a rebuilding team, so you kind of need that alpha to lead and help other guys, and I think he brings that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Real quickly here, I know you talked about, sharing text messages with Chris Paul. He helped you out as a veteran and as a mentor. Obviously, have you talked to Klay since he signed with the Dallas Mavericks?
We've texted. We just texted. I told him I congratulated him and just thanked him for just the stuff we were able to share together for 1 year. And I know from the outside looking in, it probably looked kind of rough where, I supposedly took his starting spot and but for us, it was just kind of going through kind of whatever together and being able to help him. And you could see that,
right?
The front office stuff was kind of wearing on him throughout the year. So, anything you could do to kind of get his mind off of it and just let him be Klay Thompson, I think the better Klay Thompson you got. So, for me, I just enjoyed everything he taught me, whether it was about shooting, playing some defense, how the league works, all that kind of stuff. You can't get that from, a simple Google search or a YouTube search. So just blessed to have shared 1 year with them and now I get to go out there and compete against them. So I think it'll be some fun.
You brought up starting, right? And Klay came off the bench for 14 games or whatnot, and everybody makes a big deal about starting. As a player, is it more important to finish a game, or is it more important to start? Because at the end of the day, I felt like you guys all got your minutes that you were playing. You were playing 26 minutes a night. Klay was playing 27. Kuminga was getting his minutes. But what is it? Do players care more about finishing a basketball game or starting?
No, finish it for sure. Just when the clutch moments happen. But, there is a build-up to it. I mean,
Right.
Every play does matter in the grand scheme of things. But when that game is 97-97, you want to be out there. You don't want to be in the coach's seat or on the bench, kind of having to rely on others. You want to be able to make an impact. So for me, it's just whether I came off the bench last year or whether I barely played at all and I just got thrown in there. I just wanted to finish the game.
Yep.
Whether we were getting blown out, whether we were blowing them out or it was a close game, I just wanted to be out there and say I impacted the game in some facet. So for me, it's just always been finishing the game. Whether you get your name called in a starting lineup, if we're all getting our 26 minutes, it doesn't really matter.
All right, before you go, what's your favorite place to eat thus far in the Bay Area?
The Bay Area.
It's been here for a while.
I like it. I like Original Joe's.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
let's go.
There we go.
Shout out the Doobie
There we
family.
go. We like that. Great
That's my
answer.
spot. What do you get when you go there?
I'm just a simple guy. I like a good steak and some fries.
Let's go. Let's go.
Kitty cocktail.
Oh, yeah, no, I go with the ribeye. I go with all. I can eat anything on that menu. The fried
Yeah,
calamari
more
is an
foodies.
appetizer. You see me on TV Pods. I'm bursting out the buttons on the suit, man. I need
What
to
a
drop
humble
some
brag.
weight
You
here.
see me
Real
on
quick. No,
TV.
seriously. Hey, Pods, it was
Jesus.
great. It was great to talk to you because one of the big takeaways I had from you last season wasn't even a play. It was a Utah Jazz game. And you were so ticked off about a defense assignment at the end of the game on a wide open corner three. We interviewed you, and you're still distraught over the play. And I was like, okay, this kid gets it, man. This kid is all about the details. He's all about playing. And you know what? You've been a revelation for Warrior fans, man. No doubt about it. Hell of a rookie season. We're looking forward to your second year. Keep up the great work, man, and have fun out there in Europe.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff.
Anytime. Brandin
What a
Podziemski
mature
here
young
on the
kid.
Morning Roast
Jeez.
on 95.7 The Game, courtesy of the River Islands guest line.